Hey friends, welcome back to Simply a Better You. We are busy in the kitchen today. We are still taking in our summer harvest, so lots of cucumbers, yellow squash, and plenty of zucchini. And we are trying to get through the last bit of cucumbers that we have in our fridge. We have done bread and butter pickles and a sweet pickle, and now we are working on dill relish today. So we are chopping. There's lots of chopping involved. Also, I have noticed some sniffles in the house here recently, which is a little unexpected for this time of year for our house. But Mia has a sore throat and Hannah has got some sniffles.
And coughs.
And a little bit of cough, not really a cough. But we are trying to nip that in the bud, get them hydrated and full of really good nutrient-dense food. And of course, Hannah has suggested chicken noodle soup. That is her go-to and her favorite. So I've got multiple things going on in the kitchen right now. I have got my roaster out because we are going to go ahead and make some bone broth. And I am currently thawing a tub of bone broth. This was made from chicken bones though, so that's going to go into our what am I making again? Chicken noodle soup.
Yes, my favorite.
And I also have a chicken thawing so that we can again replenish the bones that we will need to make broth, as well as make chicken noodle soup for the girls. So many moving parts today. We are trying to get lots of things done. What I will usually do, and what I have done in the past, is I've either purchased bones from a farmer that is taking a cow to market, or I will go and get them at a farm store that sells them. You can also buy them in the grocery store. You just have to ask the butcher. They will get them for you. This year we did something a little different. We were able to purchase a half side of beef, so I went ahead and asked for my half of the bones is what I got. So I have 4 bags of these, and we are going to take 2 of these bags and put them in the roaster today and start our bone broth. Now I think it's a personal choice how you choose to do this. I don't mix my poultry bones and my beef bones. Some people just throw it all in there. So I think that's just a taste thing. It might just be a taste thing. I like to have mine separate because I use mine in different recipes and I can taste it. I don't know that they can, but I made some beef stew the other day. And I did not have beef broth, and I went ahead and I put the bone broth that I had made out of my chicken bones, and it did have a different flavor to it. So everybody still ate it and it was really good, but I could taste it even though nobody complained. So we're gonna get this started. She's chopping cucumbers. We're trying to keep our fingers.
That's
okay.
right. I did it!
And we're having cucumber snacks in the process.
Yes.
So, I have read you can throw these in frozen and it doesn't affect anything, but I'm still going to thaw them. So, I've got my bones in my roaster. Now, I have 4 packages of bones, but I don't want to put them... I have 4 packages of bones, but I don't want to put everything in here because I want to be able to add my vegetables and water to it. So if I don't leave myself any room, I won't have any room to add the extras. So I'm going to go ahead and season these. Nothing fancy. Salt, pepper, probably some garlic powder, some onion powder. You season yours however you like it. After these roast, then I'm going to add all my vegetables and my liquid and more seasoning. course, Joe's gonna be all excited when he comes home and he smells the goodness and I say, oh, nope, that's just bones. Yes.
What kind of cup do I need?
1 cup measuring. You
tiny
need the
one?
big 1 cup. So pull the measuring cups out and look for the number 1 on the side of the cup. Ooh, made a mess. Okay. Put some seasoning in. I've got some seasoning in there. I'm going to let that roast for a little while, and then I'm going to add my liquid and such. So I've got it sitting at 350, and then after I add everything, I will turn it down so that it cooks slower, lower heat, and I'm going to let it sit for 24 hours.
I need help turning on water.
Huh?
I need help turning on the water.
Oh, get the water out of the Berkey.
Okay.
Okay, so next thing, chicken in the crock pot. Or I don't know where I'm gonna put my crock pot. All the counter space is being used.
Like this?
Yes. That is just perfect. No. We might do the spatchcock chicken tonight. I'm pretty sure I've done a video on that before. I'll have to go through and look and see. If I can, I'll make sure that I put it in the description down below or link a little card right there. Okay, so I've let my broth cool. It's not cold because I don't have a fat cap on top, but it is cool enough for me to, I can touch the pan now, which is going to make it easier to move. But I have pulled out the bones and all the vegetables and stuff, and now I'm going to strain it. I would suggest you do this over the sink. It is messy. And please, I speak from experience, don't pick this up and dump it into your strainer. Because some of us are overachievers, and I'm thinking, let's get this done, and I picked that bad boy up and dumped it in there, and it just whooshed everywhere. You know, I do my sweet tea the same way. You cook it in the pan, and then you pick the pan up and you dump it in the sweet tea, and it just spilled the. You pick the pan up and you dump it in the canister, the jar, pitcher. You dump it in the pitcher, and the tea goes everywhere. So yeah, don't do that. So I am going to use, where did I set it down? Oh. My big measuring cup. Yes, this is clean. It's, what do they call it? It's etched. So because we had well water in Florida and I ran this through my dishwasher, it is permanently marked like this now. A lot of my glass dishes are like that. Very disappointing, but we don't have well water here. So let me go ahead and start dumping this in here and straining it. Now, personal preference, you can run this through a regular colander strainer. You can put a tea towel in here or some cheesecloth or something to catch the more finer bits and particles and stuff. I'm not particularly worried about that. It doesn't bother me. Now, if I've got some pretty large chunks in there, which I haven't experienced yet, then I might strain it again or run it through my, I have a mesh strainer. You can also use that. So it's just personal preference what you would like to do. I've got the broth in here and it is strained once. I can see that it's got a lot of little extra little chunks, so I'm going to run it through my mesh strainer. Don't throw away your bones and your vegetables. As they sit in the pan, the bowl, or whatever you have, they are going to collect, it is going to collect liquid, and you're going to want to strain those again. Put my vegetables down in the strainer and actually push them down just to get all the extra liquid out. So you'll want to do that. Once I have this strained to my liking, I will go ahead and pour it into jars. This batch, it's up to you. You can pressure can it, you can freeze it. Easy use, pressure can. If you freeze it, you have to thaw it. So it's just whatever works for you. Okay, so the broth has been sitting in the fridge overnight, and you can see that this is the fat that's on top, and then that jiggliness, that's your gelatin. So I am going to go ahead and scoop this off the top, and then I'm going to go ahead and get these in jars. I am out of containers. I think I'm just going to throw this in the freezer. I'm not feeling well, the girls aren't feeling well, so we're going to make this a really quick process instead of pulling out the pressure canner and pressure canning and heating up the kitchen. And
I'm just dumping this over in the foil that I have sitting on top of it.
it's got a really good gel on that. Okay, so since I'm going to pop these in the freezer, make sure you leave enough headspace at the top so when this expands it doesn't crack your jar. I have found and did some reading on using the wide mouth jars versus a regular small mouth jar, that when you use those, the jars crack. I don't know exactly what's behind that, but that's just, I was reading about it, that the jars that have the shoulders on them and the smaller mouths at the top, I guess, crack when you put them in the freezer. And I have had jars crack in the freezer. I had assumed I didn't leave enough headspace in it, and that is why they cracked. It could have also been because I was reusing jars. So I had leftover like spaghetti jars and stuff I was using. I will put a little link in the description below for these plastic containers. They're food grade, restaurant style soup containers. They come in different sizes, but I really do, I like these. Okay, I've got just a little bit. Let's see if we can squeeze. I don't want to squeeze in too much because these will expand. So we'll go ahead and put lids on all of these and get them moved to the freezer. I have about 4 cups. It's sitting in my measuring cup, so I know I've got about 4 cups of broth left in there. I am going to leave that in there, and I am picking up some groceries this evening, and I am going to make a beef broth, or I'm going to make a bone broth vegetable soup, and that's what the girls and I are going to eat tonight. But other than that, sometimes you just have to go with what's going on. And right now, we have a lot of projects going on. I need to get out in the garden and pick tomatoes. I have corn that needs to be processed. I still have about 14 cups of pickle relish that needs to be processed. And of course, my garden is still giving and giving. And I don't feel good. So I am taking this day to rest. Everything is just going to have to wait. And I'm going to take this day to rest and just be still and quiet and allow my body to heal. And then we will reassess tomorrow and see how things are going to go. So guys, thank you for joining me on my journey. This one has been a multiple day journey and lots of things that are going on. And sometimes we just have to push through, and other days it's okay. I need to rest. So guys, thank you so much for joining me. And as always, I bless you on your journeys.